Okay, welcome back. So I might sound a little different because I've been sick for the past week, but I'm feeling a lot better now and I'm ready to begin playing the 67 historical scenario of Sinai. So here we are at the very opening. I haven't moved anything yet. The Israeli player begins and they're automatically supplied for the first half of the game, so we can jump right into the Israeli movement phase, focusing first here along the Sinai front, around Gaza, working our way down. The first thing that I'd like to do is conduct an overrun using this 9-8 Armored Brigade. And we can overrun 2 units in one go by moving here and then here. So this 2-1 Infantry Brigade is defending in clear terrain across the border. So that's 1 movement point for the clear terrain and +3 to overrun the unit, eliminating the unit in the process. And then we can move 1 more hex. And that could be along this road for another 1, plus another 3 to overrun the second unit. And I think that's how movement point costs are calculated during overruns, just like regular movement, except you're paying +3 to overrun units, and you can ignore enemy zones of control during the overrun. And of course, there's the rule that you're limited to overrunning a combined strength of 1 or 2 after terrain and supply considerations, using units with a modified strength of 5 or 9 respectively. So that places this 2-1 Infantry Brigade in Gaza out of supply, since Arab units trace supply along clear terrain or road hexes to friendly map edges in their home country. And this unit also does not have a retreat path, regardless of this unit being here, because it may not retreat into undestroyed fortified Israeli settlements. So you'd actually ignore the supply considerations and just double the written combat strength. So this unit would be defending with 4 in clear terrain. So we'd be rolling on the +5 if attacking with the 9-8, a guaranteed elimination for this unit because it must also retreat 2 hexes because of the fear rule. So for that reason, we'll go ahead and intruct this other unit. Units that are intruct may not attack. They have no zones of control. And then we will leave this unit where it is to attack this 3-1 infantry in clear terrain. Both of these units are tracing supply through this hex along the road. We would be attacking on the +4, a guaranteed retreat of 2 hexes, again because of fear, along this road to this sand hex, coastal hex. So then at that point, even before advancing, this unit would be out of supply. But it also doesn't have a retreat path, so it would be defending with 6. No effect for sand. So 6 + 4, maybe 10 SPs here we can bring in to attack this unit at that point. And I think we'll do that by moving this 9-8 over for 2 movement points. We'll leave this here for now. And another 1 we'll throw in, just to be sure. So this is 2-4. Okay. Further down we have this 4-1 Infantry Brigade in the clear along the road, or intersection. Tracing supply via the roads. It would also be retreating via the roads, so if we place a unit here and here, this unit would have to defend here at twice its strength, 8. 8 + 4. We'll go ahead and move this for 2. And non-mechanized on sand track hex is 1. We'll add this. Let's see. And here we have a 3-1 infantry in the clear. We'll leave this here to attack, and we'll add this 5-1 here to join in that attack. We'll throw this to 4. And we'll move these two along this track through the rough. So we'll move these two 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Move this up 1, and move this through the clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll leave this where it is in the rough. Here we are around the West Bank and along the Jordanian border. What I think we'll do is we'll bring this infantry brigade down along this road, rough road 1 movement point. We will entruck this infantry unit and I think there's one here as well that we can entruck. Up here along the Syrian border, we will bring this unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll bring this unit down a hex. 1, this unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that was the Israeli movement phase of game turn 1, and you'll notice that I covered it in detail as I usually do because it's the very opening of the game, which I think is interesting, and I'm still getting used to things like terrain and how it affects supply and movement for the different unit types and the different sides, and trying to plan ahead accordingly. So I like to take things slowly in the beginning. Someone also suggested that I do this anyway so that I can provide an idea of how the game plays up front, with the mechanics at work and the components in action, and then maybe do the same for the end to give you an idea of how things turned out with a summary of what happened in between, which I think is a great formula to follow in order to provide detail while saving time, mainly viewing time. Yeah, maybe I can add to that by still capturing some of the interesting parts along the way. So we're entering the Israeli combat phase. You'll notice that I moved most every unit with the exception of just a few, mainly along the Syrian border. I'm not too concerned about Syria at this moment with the units that are there, mostly 1-1 infantry brigades or goal C. Is it goal C? No, it's goal B in the victory conditions yet. I'm more concerned about trying to drive through Sinai towards the Suez as quickly as possible, and concerned also that if and when Jordan enters the war, how we will deal with the two fronts. So let's go ahead and resolve combat starting here. I haven't decided if we'll be making any attacks into Syria yet. So our first attack will be against the 2-1 infantry brigade defending Gaza, which is unsupplied, because Arab units that are not in Israel may not trace supply through Israel. This entrucked unit does not exert a zone of control, but nonetheless this unit does not have a retreat path because it cannot retreat through undestroyed Israeli fortified settlements. So we'll be attacking with this 9-8 armored brigade. This unit's defending with twice its written combat strength, and that's a differential of +5. It'll automatically must retreat, and it must retreat 2 hexes. It's eliminated if unable. And we may advance, but we won't. Next, we'll attack the 3-1 Infantry Brigade that's in the clear here, using the 7-8 Armored Brigade across the border. This unit is supplied via this road and may retreat via the road, so it's defending with 3 and must retreat 2 hexes on the +4 differential column 1-2. We may advance after combat. Next, we'll be attacking this unit, which does not have a retreat path, so it's defending with twice as written combat strength. We're attacking with the 2 units south of it. This unit's defending in a sand track hex, which offers no effect in combat. So that's a differential of 4. An automatic retreat result. Must retreat 2 hexes. It's eliminated. And we'll stay where we are. Next, down here, this unit is unsupplied and rough track. Nope. Has no retreat path, so it's defending with 8, twice its written combat strength. We're attacking with 6, with 13. So that's a +5, and this unit is eliminated. We will advance all 3 units onto the road. Finally, we'll be attacking this 3-1 Infantry Brigade in the clear with both the 5 strength and 4 strength infantry units. So that's on the 6, an automatic 2 hex retreat, 1-2. We may advance. So now we resolve the Arab player turn, starting with the Arab command control phase, in which we roll a die on this table to determine which units lose command control. And this is based on the total number of Egyptian points that have been lost. Their total number of combat strength points that the Egyptian forces have lost prior to a given Arab command control phase, including all losses on previous game turns. Note that the units starting in Jordan, there are Egyptian units that begin in Jordan, 2 1-1 infantry battalions. They do not count towards this total. And also note that the Syrian units are only affected by the first 4 results of each row. So we have a total of 2, 4, 6, 10, 13 Egyptian point losses. So we're looking at the first 5 numbers of each row. And we can ignore the number in parentheses. That does not apply to this scenario. It's therefore the Arab first strike increments. Okay, so we roll a die, and you'll notice that the first 5 numbers of each odd result are the same in a different order. And I think the same goes for the even number. So it's odds or evens, really. I'm going to roll a 5, so 5, 1, 7, 3, 9. Hexes, all units in the hexes whose last digits correspond to the digits on the appropriate line of the chart are inverted. And each must move its full supply-modified movement allowance within all normal terrain and airstrike restrictions directly, in as straight a path as possible, towards a supply source, preferably towards or along a road. And they may not move into an Israeli zone of control, nor may they attack this turn, and at the end of the turn they're flipped face up again. Okay, so we'll go ahead and invert the affected units. So we'll start over in Syria. One thing to note is that units starting the game in Jordan and Syrian units in the Syrian fortified positions are not subject to loss of command control. So we have just 2 units in Syria that are affected, the 2 units that are not in fortified positions. This 2-5 armored brigade, as well as the 2-5 mechanized infantry. We can bypass Jordan and move over here, units in odd-numbered hexes. It's a little hard to read, these 2 units, 2-1 infantry, 3-1 infantry along the coastal road, 3-1 infantry here, That's even, that's odd. 3-4 Mechanized Infantry Brigade. This stack is fine, but this stack is not. 3-4 Mechanized Infantry and 5-5 Armored Brigade. And that's even, odd. 3-4 Mechanized Infantry. We have a 4-4 Mechanized Infantry Brigade down in Sharm el Sheikh along this road here, which will get flipped as well since that's hex 2251. That's fine. That's fine. 5-5 armored. And another. Okay. So before we move these units during the movement phase, we first check the supply status of the Arab supply phase. All units are supplied. They trace supply through clear hexes and road hexes towards a friendly map edge in their home country. Across the Suez Canal, they must trace via crossing points, and and destroyed bridges are considered roads for supply. And only Arab units that are in Israel may trace supply through Israel. So now we enter the Arab movement phase, and I'll start by moving these inverted units first. So they must move towards the supply source, preferably towards or along a road in as straight a path as possible. Okay, so we'll start over here. These are both infantry units with movement allowance of 1, so we'll move them 1 hex along this road. And we have another infantry here along the road. This stack 5-5 along a road. I think this is probably straighter than this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sand road, mechanized 1. Clear, preferably in a straight line as possible. Probably in this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not sure if you have to stick to the roads. This is more direct, as straight as path as possible, more direct line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, okay. Quite a lot of drift here. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4 mechanized. 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the road. And the units up in Syria. 2, 5 mechanized. 1, 2 along the road, rough road. 3, 4, 5 up to the map edge. And this unit, 2, 5, 1, 2, and it'll exit the board. I'll place it face down here in the pool so we don't count it. Alright. Last but not least, down here in Sharm el Sheikh, it's a 4, 4 along the road. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was pretty awful, but we still have a number of unaffected units that we can move normally to help defend against the, or at least try to stall the Israeli advance across Sinai. We can also move units that are in Jordan, although Jordan is not yet in the war. Therefore, we may not cross the border into Israel, and enemy zones of control do not extend across the border. But we can move in preparation. Chances are good that Jordan will enter the war shortly. And in Syria, I'm not sure I'll be doing a whole lot, especially now that one of our mechanized stronger 2-5 units has exited the map, and the other one is stranded here at the very edge. So let's see what we can do. Alright, so let's go ahead and move these unaffected units starting in Sinai. Arab units in sand hexes are restricted to, if they're non-mechanized, sand road or sand track hexes, and if they're mechanized, sand road hexes. Rough terrain is even more difficult. All Arab units must stick to the roads in rough terrain. So, and also taking into account the Israeli movement, they can pretty much enter any type of sand hex. And only mechanized Israeli units are prohibited from pure rough hexes. So they can move through rough road or rough track hexes. So this, for example, is a rough track hex. Hopefully you can see that. So we have a 3-1 infantry brigade here. It's stuck to either the roads or track. It's on a road right now and may not move directly from one coastal hex directly to the other because the road dips down. We'll go ahead and pull it down for 1. And if we're doing this, Israeli units can move through these pure sand hexes, even mechanized, for 4 movement points, and then another 4 for 8. So the 7-8 could make it all the way over here. So we'd want to have a unit down here, because there are even more fast-moving Israeli units down here. So we have the stack. Let's go ahead and display the stack. 3 mechanized units on the sand road hex. Movement allowances of 4 and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can make it up to this intersection. 1, 2, 3, or even up to here. Maybe a combination of both. Let's see. I think what I'll do is bring a 3, 4 along the road. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 5, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's go ahead and bring this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See what we have here. And here. One, two, three, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5. One, two, three, 4. And that leaves these 3 units. Bring a unit here. 1, 2, 3. A unit here. 1, 2, 3. And this 1, 2, 3, 4. Now over in Jordan, West Bank, let's see, non-mechanized rough road, 1 movement point. One. We'll move this Iraqi unit up this road along the river for 1, 2, 3 to suppress this potential enemy zone of control, which does extend across the river, so that we can trace supply back to this unit that's defending clear terrain at the border. The units that begin in Jordan trace supply via either one of these 2 roads that connect to the map edge. So we have to be sure to keep an eye on those and protect them. Luckily, the units that begin in Jordan are not affected by Arab command control losses, so we wouldn't be forced to exit units off the map and can stay fairly close to this map edge. I'm not quite sure how to deal with it though. We have to keep an eye also on this unit in Tel Aviv that can just hop right into any one of these hexes, and that would put at least one of these routes in danger, so we don't want to get too far away from our map edge. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And up here, I think we'll just leave these units where they are in these Syrian forts along the road in rough terrain across the river. So that ends the Arab movement phase, entering the combat phase in which nothing happens because Jordan has yet to enter the war. We don't have quite enough Syrian combat strength points in the Golan Heights to be able to attack the Israeli units or their fortified settlements. And in Sinai, same thing, not enough combat strength points. Here, the Israelis are defending with 10 SPs in clear terrain. We would be attacking with 8, so that's less than a -1 differential. So we finished the player turn by resolving Jordanian participation, rolling a die, and we get a 3, which means that Jordan enters the war.